Okay, so my iPhone 11 Pro Max just took the iOS 26.1 software update. So I know it's been out for a little bit of time, but I haven't gotten around to updating the phone, but I just recently did. And I wanted to talk to you guys about how it's doing with the latest software update. And if I notice anything that's been, odd about it, or has it been a great experience, like all that you guys will find out in this video. But if you guys can do me a solid before we get started, hit the like button for me. That really does help out the channel, as well as if you just subscribed, turning on bell notifications. That way you guys don't miss a video upload or when I go live. And again, thank you also for subscribing. I appreciate that so much. But anyways, like I said, the iPhone 11 Pro Max is the device that I've been using just to basically test out iOS and, all that cool stuff, right? So, on top of just getting iOS 26.1 installed on the iPhone 11 Pro Max, I am aware that, Pixel 10 has the ability to quick share connect to AirDrop and, move pictures and files and stuff in between iPhone and Android with the Pixel. But, that's for a video at another time. But this is my iPhone 11 Pro Max. You guys see right here. And let me get it unlocked here. And yeah, that's what it looks like. iOS 26. So I have, the tinted icons going on. I'm not a real big fan of the dark glass or light glass look. I mean, I know that's the theme that Apple is going with iOS, is the liquid glass. And, for the most part, I mean, it's not terrible. It is what it is. Some people like it, some people don't. I'm not for it or against it. I guess I'm just like neutral, like blasé. So that's just me on it. But a couple things that I did notice with this software update is that it's cleaned up a lot of, like a lot of the, the jank and stuff like that. Like, I don't really see it anymore. Like when you go down with the, the whole notification tray, it used to have like this little stop jitter kind of go effect as you're scrolling down. I don't see that. Almost as if like if there was something there that it was flicking up against as you were scrolling down, it just had this little weird kind of like quick pop effect, like little wiggle back and forth kind of as you're going down. I don't see that at all whatsoever. The animation seems to be a little bit more smoother. So, I mean, that's always a nice thing. And yeah, I think that they did a really good job with that. Because that was something that was very, very annoying. Seeing that on my iPhone. And yeah, so anyways, that's been corrected. I kind of wish they would change up, like the top corner icons. Kind of wish they would change that up a little bit, maybe do something different, more like a refresh or something like that. I don't know, I just find that to be like slightly boring. And that's just me, and that's just being nitpicky, right? That's pickiness. That's not really anything to do with like performance. But I will tell you this though, that a lot of the apps that I use, and I don't use too much on here because this is a secondary device that I use to pretty much like get a feel of iOS and just carry with me as like a backup phone. So it's got a data only SIM on it, which that's all I need to access apps, right? I don't need a phone number to get calls or nothing like that. Crazy enough as is though, this is something that I wish that would come to Pixels, Android per se, and that is the way that iMessage works. So like with iPhones, I can have iMessage with my iCloud email address and be able to message like my daughter who has an iPhone, and be able to message her through iMessage. With RCS, you gotta have like an active phone number that can do messaging and stuff like that, which totally sucks because sometimes if I have like a backup device, I want to be able to use Google Messages with RCS and chat, continue like a chat conversation in there. So I kind of wish that they would allow RCS messaging to bind with the Google email address to be able to use RCS continuously rather than just being, phone number dependent. But aside from that, that's one thing that I do like about iPhones is you can still use iMessage and FaceTime. No problems at all with, with the data only SIM card. Performance wise, it runs every app that I, like I'm doing, social media and stuff like that. It does it just fine. I do use the Instagram Edits app to edit, short form content and stuff like that. And it runs and renders videos pretty good. The A13 Bionic still kicking some butt with iOS 26.1. So, video editing and stuff is really good. And I like to shoot videos with the iPhone. So that's kind of the reason why, at least for short form content. As far as gaming on here, I play Pokemon Go, so gaming performance has been decent. I don't have any complaints. Haven't had any complaints before, and I don't have any right now. So I'm not concerned about it. And when it comes to battery life, this morning I took it off the charger. I want to say like at 2:45 a.m. in the morning, so I had Amazon Flex to do, and then I've been mostly using it throughout, the whole entire time of doing that side gig work. Took some pictures, recorded some videos, and we're sitting right now at 55% battery. So I mean that was just going to tell you how things are. So let's see. Let me go to the settings real quick. 54% of battery left. Last charge at 2:51 a.m. is when I took it off the charger, and it shows YouTube and Instagram were the heaviest usage and everything like that. There you guys can see it's declined and everything like that. So 2 hours and 35 minutes of screen on time currently at this time at, with 54% battery left. So I would say, battery's pretty much been average. It's been pretty much the same that it's been when it was on iOS 18. And I mean, it's slightly improved a little bit, I guess you can say, but that's really comparing the beta software to the full-fledged software. In beta software, I expected to eat more battery because there's certain things that, may just be behaving really weird and wonky, and it could cause for a significant battery drain. But it being on iOS 26.1 and the battery's pretty much been the same like it was just on iOS 26.0. So not a significant change, but still battery's doing pretty decent. If I continue to use the phone the way that I was using it, probably would, end up with at least 4 hours of screen on time. So not the greatest compared to today's devices, but, for the most part, it's still pretty decent for a pretty old phone. Then, of course, you have the triple camera setup there, all 12 megapixel shooters, and they still do pretty good with photos and stuff like that. You'll see some samples up here for the photos and things like that. Also some samples you guys saw with the video recording. Of course, I didn't have any audio turned on for that, just because, you guys are just looking at how the video looks. Audio is obviously going to be pretty decent with the iPhone, so no real big complaints there. Just in general with the phone in itself, it's one of those things that when people talk about Apple and how great they are, this is one of those instances that kind of proves that point. An old device like the iPhone 11 Pro Max, and it's still getting software updates today. And even though iOS 26 is going to be the end of life for this device going forward, it's still going to continue to get security patch updates for another couple of more years before it's completely obsolete. And that's what I've noticed with Apple and with their iPhones, and that's what they do. There's the iPhone 7 still gets updates. Every now and then there might be a bug issue that needs to be fixed, and then Apple will pump out an update to fix that, even though it's on iOS 15. That's what I'm saying. So even though the iPhone 11 Pro Max is at end of life, so it's not going to get iOS 27, it'll still continue to get some updates. The only thing that worries me about the iPhone 11 Pro Max is T-Mobile's desire to shut down LTE completely, because this is a LTE device. This is not 5G capable. So if T-Mobile does that, then any MVNO that I'm thinking of wouldn't support this phone anymore because LTE is no longer working. And if those MVNOs that are on T-Mobile's network are piggybacking off of them, obviously they're going to be subjected to the same changes. So that's going to suck. Because honestly, when it comes to the iPhone 11 Pro Max, the way that I feel about this phone is that even if I was a heavy Apple fan, this is a phone that I wouldn't really feel like I needed to upgrade from until it breaks. So, I mean, if I do upgrade, I don't know what iPhone I'm going to get to replace this when it's time to replace an iPhone. But I can tell you guys, for right now, I really like using the 11 Pro Max and have no desire to want to change from using that phone. It's such a good phone. And even today, against today's phones, it's still pretty good. And it can hold its own. And I think that a lot of people underestimate that about the iPhone 11 Pro Max. But that's just my quick thoughts. What are yours? Tell me in the comment section of the video. I truly appreciate it. Hit the like button too. Again, show your support for the channel. I appreciate that too as well. And I'm going to enjoy the rest of my day. Tomorrow is Thanksgiving. So hopefully you guys are chilled and relaxed and getting ready to cook up a feast and release the beast. But until then, I love you guys very much. Be safe out there. Happy holidays to you guys. And as always, aloha. I'll see you guys later. Boom.